For more, let's bring in former FBI agent Kyle Seraphin, a practicing Catholic and the whistleblower on the Richmond memo. Kyle, thanks so much for joining us, and good to see you again. So tell us, what more do you know about this renewed investigation and the demands that are being made of FBI Director Christopher Wray?
Well, Wray has been not very forthcoming about it, and I work with an organization called Catholic Vote that has been kind of pushing for more information, and also working with a group called Judicial Watch. Many people are familiar with them. They've been doing FOIA requests, and they've constantly been kind of pushing the envelope, trying to find out exactly how deep this problem goes within the FBI, which is incidentally one of the most Catholic organizations that I've ever been around or worked for. There are more practicing Catholics inside the FBI than anywhere I've ever worked. It's absolutely bizarre to me that there is this sort of sentiment, but it also kind of shows us the deeper problem that the FBI has been sort of captured by radical leftist type forces, and that people are really trying to attack Christianity with inside our federal government. Being a kind of an antithetical position.
Yeah, and our reporting shows the FBI try to cover its tracks by deleting information that would indicate really a much wider targeting of Catholics, and ultimately, failing to report truthfully to Congress. I want to get your take on all this, Kyle.
Well, look, the FBI is an intelligence agency, and that's the thing that's so hard for people to grasp. We're used to seeing law enforcement actions, and we're used to seeing an FBI that does law enforcement actions. But in reality, probably 60% of the focus has skewed towards an intelligence mission. And if people ever thought they got a straight answer out of CIA directors or out of how the CIA actually operates, that's the kind of expectation we should have with the FBI at this point. They sort of instinctively go towards protection of the agency. And that actually goes back as far as Hoover.
Yeah. And do you think ultimately Christopher Wray and the FBI, do you think they'll come clean on what transpired and really how far this targeting went? And do you think those involved will maybe see any type of action, punishment that is, for their actions?
So Wray has actually testified to this, so I think we kind of have an instinct of where they're at. He said that they've been sanctioned and that they've had some negative reporting put in their personnel file, which could, very well affect their bonuses at the end of the year. So we've got that. And that's essentially nothing. It's a slap on the wrist. It's a statement that they weren't really mad. And I've read hundreds of pages of the transactional emails that went between FBI senior executives. And as they covered down on this story, the question wasn't, how did we screw this up? How did we make a significant tactical error, and how did we end up investigating a First Amendment protected liberty? What they really covered was, how did this get out? How do we stop it? They did a hunt for the whistleblower that brought the information and documents to me. And then they basically said, how do we spin this? They were tracking news coverage, not a self-reflection on an agency that says this is a First Amendment protected liberty. The American people actually have a constitutional right to practice their religion any way they want, and we're not going to be the arbiters of it. In fact, the state is supposed to be agnostic about any religious practice. So I don't think we're going to see any accountability. I don't think that we've seen any, what we've seen is the most that we're going to see. They said that they've done a little bit of personnel writing. Somebody got a bad note in their file. There's a letter, and that's kind of what we see from the FBI in general. Just a lack of accountability and nobody holding their feet to the fire to push it any further.
All right, we're going to leave right there. Kyle, thank you so much for your insights. Appreciate it. God bless.
You bet.